Welcome to Founders and Fortitude Conversations with Audrey Dollins, a podcast where we uncover the raw realities of being a founder, celebrating the brilliance of the teams, individuals, and families working tirelessly behind the scenes, and explore the fortitude, the unwavering determination it takes to navigate the twists, turns, and triumphs of entrepreneurship and life itself. Each week, we will share candid conversations, actionable insights, and inspiring stories to empower you on your journey. Whether you're building a brand, scaling a business, an online creator and influencer, or pursuing your passions with relentless drive, let's dive into the grit, grace, and growth it takes to thrive. Let's get into it. Hi friends, to say I'm ecstatic sitting here with my family would be an understatement. As many things and adventures in life, we always support each other, and I love that even though against their will, they're sitting here and we are going to have a conversation about what it looks like behind the scenes. My goal with starting Founders and Fortitude is kind of showing that behind the scenes, not just the person in the forefront, but the family and team that supports them, the journey that it takes, the fortitude it takes, and all the memories created and what their experiences look like. So I'm so excited to introduce you. We'll start off with my son, Presley. Presley is in the Air Force and is about to be 21. So I can't wait to share all the insights and details about his experience being a kid of an entrepreneur, and then his journey going into the military. If you hear the barking in the background, we are filming at home, and so you're gonna hear our sweet dogs, and Sadie is the one that's trying to take over the show. My daughter, Scarlett, is literally freshly 16. She has the sweetest soul and is the kindest person at this table out of all of us. She plays select softball, and with her journey, I think it's so important that I talk about a lot with guests is the similarities of being an athlete and having that fortitude in that type of atmosphere, as well as with business and how that competitive nature aligns. My husband I twisted his arm the most to be here, is Jason. Jason is a lot of things within our company. He handles all of our accounting. He is the backbone of our family and handles all things home. And then he puts up with me, which is a job within itself. I think they should have you on payroll of putting up with Audrey.
Give him a medal.
Give him a medal. I think he has one somewhere. And then the little one in his lap. And if you're not viewing us on YouTube, is Fendi. Fendi is our chief wolf officer at 80 Media Group and visits us a lot. But I'm so excited that we get to have a candid conversation. Now, just a friendly reminder, my family does not go on social media or podcasts. This is so new to them. So I just appreciate y'all giving them that love, and you get to see the real rawness of what family looks like. Because I promise you, the answers that they are probably gonna say are not scripted, and will probably have my mom heart fluttering just a little bit. But I wanna start with you, Jason. You and I have owned several businesses. Even in our downtime, we are always moving forward with our thinking and opportunity. Have you always been that way? Like, have you always wanted to own your own business?
I pretty much worked for myself my whole life, more or less. I mean, I worked for a few companies here and there, but always entrepreneurial heart.
Yeah. And I think the number one thing, and we talk about this often, is the freedoms that we have. I think that I think we send text messages back and forth of motivation, and that the word fortitude is something that you and I had talked about when we were going through a season of hard work. And we said that we'd rather work, 15 hours a day or 12 hours a day for ourselves than for anybody else. And I think it rings true. So I love that about us. And then that's also one of the hardest things about us too, is that we're very driven and competitive, and we hold each other to a high expectation, which is not always like
The greatest.
exactly. Which leads me over to the kids, like which leads me over to you guys. What we have this drive, and then this is what kind of started within us. What are your thoughts of seeing, do you know why we do it? Like, what are your thoughts about having family members that own their own business? Do you feel different than your friends in school, or what were those things that you noticed about us?
It's definitely easier, I think, compared to everyone else. People's families work 9 to 5 and they end up working later. But with you guys, like being available, even it might be a little more random than others. But it's definitely year round. If we have a day off on Monday, y'all are probably gonna be here, and that's or be gone. But the point is that day off or not, from us at school or something like that, you guys were always around most of the time. There wasn't a time where I'd come home from school where at least, y'all were always, one person was always home. I think that was like a big thing that not a lot of kids get. So I think that's nice. And then also it's just a little easier. The gripes from families are a little better because it's not that, oh, my boss is beating down on me. It's just that y'all got to get something done. And I think that's a little easier to handle because then I'm just going to hate your boss. In theory, you're a boss, then,
Yeah, to touch on that, like especially with my softball games and everything, I mean, you'll having to work on top of coming and being there for me, like, yeah.
Which is mostly you. Which I do it too, but you're there, you're able to be there. You handle
Normal hours.
Yeah, you handle a lot. I have to say that too. I like that we have the freedom to show up. It, like you said, that it may be like it's a little bit more random, but if y'all need something, we walk away immediately. Y'all come first, and this type of business allows us to do that. And I think even when y'all were little, like you always have to start somewhere. And I remember, and we can all laugh about this because was it Scarlett that locked us out of the car?
Yeah.
Who locked us out of the car?
Scarlett that locked us out of the car.
It was us two. We went on a photo shoot, and my kids were not in danger in any way, so nobody come at us. But they had their iPads and their movies, and I was on a photo shoot, and it was going to be like a 45-minute total thing. It was like a mini shoot, and they were there with me, and I was like, do not get out of the car. I'm going to run up here and I'll be right back. And you were 12. How old were you?
I was like 13, almost 14.
Like it was not.
She left the car running and it wasn't hot. So, but
The car was running.
oh, okay. Well, it just wasn't hot, everyone.
Yeah, like they were not suffocating.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was watching Superman. I'm pretty.
yeah, we were watching like some Adam Sandler movie or something. We were fine.
I'm such a good favorite.
And no, it's like grown-ups. It's like one of the good ones. No, but like I got out of the car because I needed to go tell you something. I forgot
scared.
what I had to tell you, and I got out of the car to come bother you, and I turn around and my sister shut the door.
To the running car.
She got out. I told her to stay in there. I'm like, I wasn't even leaving the area of the car. You were right there. And I walk up and I just hear the door shut, and I turn around and Scarlett's standing outside with no shoes on and her iPad, and she had left the car. The car locked behind itself while it was running, and that was that. We were just stranded out there
Yeah.
while Mom was trying to take a photo shoot.
And we finished the photo shoot. Y'all were great. Y'all like sat on the park bench or something like that. No shoes on, because it was like spring. It wasn't like it was Texas 900 degree heat. And then we finished the photo shoot. In the meantime, texted Jason. Jason got the people out to help us. And within a few minutes, we were back in the car rolling along. But I think those experiences are so funny, but it's like the grit to overcome the little challenges in the overall picture. Because I would never think at that time, and would y'all think at that time that that 80 Media Group would be where it is? Like those times when we were little, I say we were little, like y'all were little, that those processes and steps would be where we are.
back
No,
then.
y'all grown a lot from where you started for sure.
Yeah. And then remember when we did the photo shoot in like 0 sub-degree temperatures?
Like in the parks.
In the parks? Yeah, because you would assist. Did you guys like coming to help?
It got me out of the house, but no. Like sometimes, of course, I wish I could just sit in my room and play Xbox some more. But
Recently, like now, yeah, I enjoy helping.
So older than that?
Yeah, especially
Because you're on the payroll.
Because you're on the payroll now. Now we can't pay her with like Skittles and a dinner.
I had a good time recently
Yeah.
whenever we did that photo shoot.
Do you guys remember the venue and doing that?
yes.
You loved having the venue.
But I remember that was a lot of work for
Yeah.
y'all. That was like more than
A lot of travel.
that was more than anything y'all had ever done was the venue. And I felt like it was like the easiest work and probably the funnest, but I just knew that was like constant.
The venue was
Cupcakes at the same time. There was just too much at once.
so a little insight if you're tuning in. Back when the kids were younger, how many years ago was this? 5, 6?
2016 when we opened
Yeah.
the bakery.
So we opened Small Cakes Cupcakery. Our dog is drinking water if you can hear it. It's hilarious. But we owned Small Cakes Cupcakery in Garland at Firewheel. And it was a franchise and with Jason's parents. And we built the whole storefront from top to bottom. It was an extreme experience. A lot of knowledge went into it, from building it to employees to all of the things. And the kids were right there alongside of us, watching it from the ground up. We were getting married at the same time. Like, we got married in September and it opened in October. So all of that going on. And at the same time, we were presented to purchase an event venue in downtown Sulphur Springs. And we said, well, why not? With 2 young kids in sports.
It was a lot.
Yes, and I was still running the photography business, marketing, creating with influencers. Influencers started rolling in at that time, and it was just a lot. And then right before COVID, 2019, we sold the Cupcakery when?
September of 2019, and then September we sold the venue, and October we sold the bakery.
Okay.
2019, and then COVID hit 2 months later, 3 months later.
And then we basically, and they're still open. They're still running. The venue's still going. So many experiences with that. I think you were great at the venue. The venue gave me a heart attack because it was throwing an event, and I was very particular about certain things. That you were so detailed and great about it. If you could do it again, would you? Do the cup? You would.
The cupcakes?
Which one?
Not the cupcakes.
Never.
I'm not a food industry business person. After that, I've learned my lesson on that. But the venue, absolutely,
Yeah.
all day long.
You were good at that. I was panicky because it's like having a wedding every day. But I remember y'all sweeping and
Oh yeah, I remember sweeping
I
too.
remember setting up the
setting up
tables.
and the chairs where we had to stack them.
Yep.
Do you feel like with that type of work, do you feel like you've learned things from our dogs are literally playing? Fendi, Letty, stop. Y'all quit.
I was like trying. I was trying to tell him.
Stop. Go at them.
Go lay down.
Okay, it's okay. A little brief interruption. But do y'all feel like, not that you saw the differences in your friends or yourselves, like I don't want you to compare, but do you feel like those things taught you and equipped you for things like in life? Like, could you tell?
They're a little better. I'll just say, like, I'll compare. It's a little better. Like, we didn't have to sit at home. I think y'all had like the luxury of breeding us to places like that, and we did get to learn like a little bit of work and how to manage just your time and how you handle work, and to whereas other people just sat with their babysitter. And
Yeah.
I think we got a chance to, I wouldn't say grow up faster, but just know that like whenever
Good experience.
yeah, whenever you do get old, this is what it looks like, and like we had a good childhood, and we just, I don't know, we just tagged along. We definitely had it better in my eyes than others, just from.
Well, excuse me while I cry.
Like,
Like, I'm so glad that it came, like, processed that way. Because we would worry as parents, like, are we doing the right thing? We're trucking them along. You know, we knew we were different, whereas we were like, we're not like other people. And I mean, we found like-minded people. We have great friends from the venue, the winery, Phil, and that they made us feel like we were doing great. And y'all were so respectful. I think that y'all learned respect too on how to treat people. And I see how y'all spoke to people. Y'all would, customers and all the things y'all would be a part of, and the professionals that we worked with behind the scenes. And Scarlett, you had mentioned that you come up to the office. What do you think about working like that, the office and the atmosphere?
I love it. I mean, sorry, I was thinking back to the payroll thing. Anyway,
I love it a lot more now.
no, but I mean, it's a great environment with everyone welcoming me, and
It aligns with your school too.
yeah.
I think you called me and like, Mom, can you give me the password to one of our apps that we use? And you were making you a resume. You know how to make a resume, and you can put certain things on there that maybe, I mean, the facts are you did sweep venue floors. You did put up dishes and chairs and
Those horrible linens.
the
That's the worst. That was the worst thing ever.
And that you show up. I mean, you made a great income this past summer that we were teasing you about, wondering where all that money went. But that you have experience and learning. And it's not from me. You go in the office, you have our operations manager. It wasn't from me. You were getting,
Yeah, I was learning from everyone, pretty much.
yes. Do you want to pursue a career in marketing?
It pays the bills right now.
Yeah, if it came down to it, yeah, I'd be open to.
Well, I think you're good at it. So we talk about that all the time. Like, we don't set out. I think both of you are very professional. You had great jobs. Like when you decided not to go the sports route, we kind of were like, okay, we have to get a job. And I think there is something so great about you didn't rely on us for anything. And then I would feel bad. I think Jason would be like, who did you Venmo this money to? And I'm like, I sent Presley money for gas, even though you didn't need it. And you like went to work and you were running your life at 15 and 16 years old. And didn't you like become a manager like in one of your, well, I feel bad that I don't know the details.
Yeah, no, like the place I worked at was very not well managed. And so like at 15, my stepdad would drop me off and I would manage an ice cream shop. I was the manager. I ran the register and divvied out tips and ordered cups and stuff off the computer, like all the stuff that a 15-year-old should not do. And that's what I was doing from literally my first job. So, and then after that, I just kept working.
I think it was cool too that you were like, because I would say, well, you can work with me, and you're like, no, I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well, I just didn't want to work for you because it's like, that's my mom.
Yeah.
I don't work for my mom. Everyone goes works, not saying that it's wrong, but like people just go, they don't know what they want to do, so they just go work for their dad or go work for their mom. And I was like, I don't want to go work for my dad and my mom.
yeah,
I just want to figure out whatever I'm going to do and just stick with that. And if that's being an ice cream shop manager forever, and that's what it is, but I wouldn't want to.
I think we respected it. We liked it because we didn't want to be that either. We didn't want to be like, did you work today? You know, or anything like that. So I'm glad that you did that. Which will lead us to going into the conversation about you going into the military. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Let's talk about it. Why you came to me that one day, I remember it like clear as day.
Uh-huh.
Why did you choose to do that?
I think how it happened is that I did a semester of community college, And
Can we be clear that you were supposed to do 2 semesters?
Yes, I
we
was.
paid.
You enrolled for 2.
Oh,
We
yeah,
paid for 2.
okay, guys, I think. Yep, I know. I did a semester of community college. I went and enrolled for my 2nd semester. And on the way back, I was like, this sucks. I was like, I don't want to. I was like, not that I thought the school sucked. It was just that I think it was that I was here. I was like, I don't want to live at home with my mom and just go to college until it's time for me to go somewhere else to go to college or something like that. And I just needed like a big life change. I was like, I need to do a 180. Not because I was like going down the wrong path or nothing, I don't think, but I just was like, I need to get out. Like I'm just locked up. So I just decided to do the 180 and I went and chose the Air Force. That's just what I did.
What was like, okay, what was that deciding factor? Like, what was that? I've got to.
My grades.
Your grades.
Yeah, my grades, they were 100% the factor. Like I think if I would have kept on it a little bit more, then I would have been good enough to just skate by and stay in, but I was already so put out, and you know, high school grades from college grades are extremely different. It's a lot. Like I took hard high school classes, but not, regardless, the level of just having to keep up with yourself in college is different from high school. I just got roped into being out of high school, and I was like, you know what, like,
When you
I'm already
said to me,
falling
you were like,
behind.
I'm bored.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was
this is
bored.
boring. Like college is boring, and you went to college. There was nothing exciting, and that's. If you look at statistics, people like I didn't love high school. I was like, if this can get over and I can go actually do real life. And I feel like you kind of mirror that a little bit too. You're way smarter than I am or ever will be, but like you're like, I'm bored. And then
Looking for a little more structure too, to get something going.
yeah. Were you shocked on my response when you came to me and told me?
No, I kind of figured you'd respond the way you did, but I was just waiting on you to like cry, and you didn't. And so I was like, all right, that's good. I was like, that works out actually. This makes this a lot easier.
Well, I get that question a lot is because moms and parents will ask me like, how did you respond when you did that? And I think, and I would tell Jason this and Scarlett this, and even when you were gone during boot camp, I never want him to hear me cry because your choices and this choice is bigger than me. And as a mom, we always want to keep our kids, but I knew that this would make you into the person I know that would be just, you know, I think that you were great before, but it would like kind of catapult you into like manhood, I would say. And so I didn't want my feelings to get in the way. And was there and I feel like I did a good job, not all the time. I wrote you like every second I could.
I don't feel like it was such a shock though, because this one's put it on us a few years back, so we'd already had it on our mind. What if? But he just came out and said that.
Yeah,
So it wasn't such as a shock, but a little bit.
Well, someone says
She said, I
stole it because no matter what you do, I'll always just do it better. So I kind of just did it so I could say no matter what else.
So that is you want to share? Like, since he stole your idea going into the Air Force?
I mean, the only reason why I say that is because when did I start? I think
You came to me when you
I
were
was
12,
I was 12. I mean,
and you kept it from her for 6 months.
Don't tell mom. I'm not ready. He's wrong. Oh, yeah, I was lost to know.
really big on NASA whenever I guess around like 4th or 5th grade. And then that was like me learning that the Air Force had the Space Force and you had to be in the Air Force, which I'm not really, I mean, still thinking about the Space Force, but, you know, yeah, that's how it came about.
Yep.
So,
And your intentions would be like pilot, or you talk about being a airline stewardess. Do they call them stewardess?
I think they're flight attendants.
Flight attendants now. That she showed how old I am.
Well, I think.
Yeah.
I have to go into why we don't call them stewardesses anymore.
I don't know why.
I think it's like rude.
Really?
Yeah, like
Well, I didn't mean it.
I think women don't like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of like you don't say beautician anymore. It's like a stylist.
Well, I don't know what that is. So.
Oh. Okay, so with that said, knowing that you wanted to go into the Air Force, that you went to the Air Force, would you do it again?
If I was in the exact same position, yes, I would do it again. If I could go back a little bit more and go through junior and senior year of high school again, I would have done that way differently. I would have just locked in a little bit more and got some schoolwork done instead of just doing, actually, I would have worked less in high school. I would have worked less and done a little bit more schoolwork because I was working Monday through Friday pretty much until pretty much midnight.
But you got that money bug. You liked having money.
I could go out and do whatever I wanted, and I never had to ask y'all for anything. I think like early on freshman year of high school, before I did work, you know, I'd be like, yeah, I have $20 to go to the movies or something like that, and I didn't like that. So then I just got a job, and then not that there wasn't food for me to come home and eat, but I didn't have to. Like I would always just
McDonald's.
yeah, I mean, you know, they're healthy. Yeah, I would go eat.
What about so with the Air Force, what is one of the main things that has impacted you? What do you like about it? Tell us a little bit about that. Because I feel like even to this day, with as much education as we have in the military, about the military, I feel like it's still kind of like a mystery.
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
Well, I think what I love about it is, well, for starters, my job's cool sometimes. Other than like the hard work part, I am a crew chief on F-15s. I basically we launch and recover, and we do any scheduled or any kind of just maintenance that needs to be done on the jets. And but now I'm pushed to more maintenance, which is easy. But you know, it's cool. Like you get to see jets take off, and they get loaded up, and they do all their cool stuff, and you get to see it. It's loud. It's fun. It's America for sure. but then, you know, at times it's like you are working for so long during the day, but it keeps you occupied. I would say that's what I like about it, is that it will always keep you occupied. Always keep you occupied. And you get federal holidays off.
Yeah.
So you ain't gotta go to work on certain days. It's nice.
Yeah, nobody's buying ice cream well, you're not working. Everybody's out buying ice cream, but not needing a jet that day.
Exactly.
Was there ever a moment that you're like, oh shit, I made a mistake?
Yeah, like the first 15 minutes of basic training, you think you've made the worst mistake of your life. But I mean, you kind of get over it. They kind of like, I wouldn't say brainwash you. They don't brainwash you, but like the first couple weeks in, they like, I'm just going to use brainwashing, but they brainwash you into thinking that, you know, you didn't make a bad decision. Like you're in here to fix whatever you're here to fix, or do whatever you came here to do. But for the first 3 weeks, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot.
The bus ride out of Dallas.
Yeah, the bus ride out of Dallas sucked. It was like a 4-hour drive to San Antonio, 4 or 5 hour drive to San Antonio, and the whole time you're like, I just know as soon as this bus stops, for the next 8.5 weeks, it is just going to be horrible. Yep. And it was, but it actually gets kind of fun, and you get over it pretty quickly.
I mean, I don't know how you felt when you saw them march out at his graduation ceremony.
That's a pretty proud moment. I mean, that's...
Did you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. It was neat. And y'all's squadron did really great, and you did really great.
Yeah.
You got some special accolades.
I just got honor graduate, and that's just because I scored high on my test and did what I was told.
Oh, do you remember, and I will rewind just a little bit, how pissed you were when we went to the Air Force? Where is it when you sign up?
The recruiter.
We went to the recruiter office, and he was like, do you just want to take a practice test? And you're like, no, I'll come back. And I was like, just do it.
Oh, yeah.
Just do it. Just see where you are. And he's like, Mom, I haven't studied. We were just coming to find out information. You go back there and you like kick the test ass. Mm-hmm. Like one of the highest like scores that you want to be.
Yeah. I just remember from everything you get told about recruiters and, you know, everything that you have to go through when you meet those people, you kind of just need to stick to your guns, and then what you want to do is what you need to do. And then I made the mistake of bringing my mother. So if anyone if anyone is, not because you're my mother, but if anyone is going to go to a recruiter, do not bring your parents, like, at all. And I brought my mom, and because that's how they get you, is they'll start talking to your mom and not you. And yeah, so I was like, you were telling me to do something. I was like, I'm not going to, because then they got all, yeah, I don't need to get all that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay, my
Pissed.
bad. I didn't
Yes, I
know.
was pretty
I'm very sorry. I text Jason. I was like, he's so pissed at me right now.
Yeah, you got to stick to your guns.
But all in all, it's taught you so much. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you did it. It's very hard. You don't live in Texas anymore. You live in North Carolina, which is great. You love it. It's letting you see the world without costing a lot and giving you, freedom.
It cost me a dime.
Yeah.
That's either.
See there. Which leads me over to the last question on that. What keeps you going? So in boot camp, in where you are right now, obviously it's called Founders and Fortitude. What's that fortitude that drives you? Like when you wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, today's gonna suck, but you keep going. What pushes you? What's in your head?
I think what pushes me with what I do now is just like every day. It's gonna sound really dumb, but every day when you wake up, there's gonna be a time when you go back to bed, no matter how sucky it's gonna be, and the next day could just always be better than the day before. So I think and you're doing it for a reason. Like, I mean, whether someone goes to the Air Force to like serve their country or whatever, or just to get college done, like you're waking up to do it for a reason. So as long as you can go to bed that night, it's gonna be a good day.
So that's what's on your mind.
There you go back to bed. Yeah. Yep.
I love it. I love it. So that leads over to you, Scarlett. We were talking about that you play select softball. And just with, maybe the difference between a softball team and a select sport. How has that impacted you? What has playing select softball taught you in the sense of, routine and discipline and teamwork and friendship?
It's definitely changed my mindset and, learning how to learn yourself more in the sport. Like, say,
You push yourself a lot. Do you remember like that one summer, like you never give up? Like that one summer you're like, Mom, don't let me quit. And you were the only catcher at the time. It was like 102 degrees. And you were like, just don't let me quit. Then they pull you out and you were just red, da, da, da. And the coach looks at me, I was like, she needs to go back in. Because you told me, don't let me quit.
yeah,
And then you go back in. Don't y'all win the championship
I believe so.
and you get a ring.
I think so.
But when you came off that field, you said, Mom, why didn't they take me now? I'm dying, man. I hated myself. I cried because you were down and out. And so then I was like, no, that's the coach's fault. He shouldn't have listened to me. All these coaches say, parents, be quiet. Why did he listen to me? But we're going to get into that. But I think that's what builds character, because you didn't give up on your team and you asked, like you're so driven that way and so dedicated.
Yeah, it's definitely hard sometimes, but you just got to keep pushing yourself.
How many times have you broken your wrist? Oh, you broke your wrist at home plate?
Yeah, and then I broke my arm like way back.
At the fields, but
That was
yeah.
for his game whenever he was playing baseball.
What do you think about your teammates? Like, how has that taught you how to work with other people? Like, you support them in the ways that you do.
Because you're like the locker room glue guy. Like you go in there, you make all the noise.
Like you're not afraid to stop the game to tell your pitcher that they're great. You are like that in life. Like you love and support everyone.
I think it goes down to like it's a 9-player sport. It's not just about one player, and you gotta remind them that and give them the confidence as well as yourself during a game or after a game or before a game. You just gotta keep reminding them.
Would you play selective softball again, knowing how much work it takes to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I mean, it, like you said, it builds character, discipline. You make a lot of friends. It's great, and I know that people have said no to putting their kids in sports, like select or club sports. But yeah, it's tough, but I think it builds people up a lot more than they think.
Do you think it's prepared you for like real life? Like having a coach tell you, hey, like be okay with like, hey, they didn't choose you, but you still have to be there with a smile on.
Yeah, the competitiveness between even your own teammates, like taking a spot or whatever, like
That's like real life. Like there's somebody out
it's
there.
not gonna be fair.
It's never fair. It's never fair. Even when your parents are the coach, I still don't think that's fair. Or whoa, parent coaches, is that a thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How do you
Not a
feel
big fan of
about, you know, because it gets so intense. What are your thoughts when parents are yelling crazy things out in the stands?
It's
How about what do you think about your mom?
Can we not agree I've gotten better in the stands?
After 9 years, yeah.
I love it.
I love it. So's the one that was able to leave whenever he wanted.
Nah, I'm not really a big fan of that. I mean,
What do you prefer parents to do when they go watch a sport? Is it okay that they cheer their kid on? Like, because it's
yeah,
a
cheer 'em
topic.
on. Sometimes say the inning's over and we go in the dugout and y'all come up to us and you know like we're not in a bad mood or like, I mean, it's always good to like tell us to like maybe fix your attitude a little bit sometimes, but like out on the field and you make a bad play or something and you're like, oh, or like, you know, like should have got that, like it doesn't really help the
It
situation.
messes with you mentally,
Yeah.
and where it slows you down.
Which, yeah, it toughens you up, for sure.
So do you feel like select sports is equipping you to go to something like the Air Force? With what he's saying, you're not swayed by what he's saying, like with his experience going into boot camp?
Like, swayed away from it?
Yeah.
No. And I guess you could kind of connect it. I mean, like, you had a squadron, right? Or whatever. Y'all were a team.
Yeah.
Y'all, yeah.
And all the uniforms that y'all have, Lord.
Yeah.
Sometimes the softball uniforms is as fierce. It's like,
Yeah.
not as fierce, of course, but you know, like.
It's not as intense, but, I mean, you could connect it that way, like,
Jason, Presley mentioned earlier, he was like, my stepdad dropped me off. Walking into the role, oh, that was you. Walking into that role and watching the kids, I think, you know, watching them conquer these things, do you feel like we've learned a lot? I feel like we've learned a lot from them.
Oh, yeah.
And you taking the role of stepdad, that's one of those tough tasks because you are very organized and particular. And I think you have done like so great, like supporting them. And I know that it's been like challenging because you are hashtag bonus dad, stepdad.
The kids are easy.
The kids are easy. I'm the hard one. So let's talk about, let's go into it. Let's get it. We say let's get into it. What advice would you give to someone that is going to run a business with kids and a couple? Like us as couples,
Include them.
Include them.
Include them.
Yeah.
And talk to them like they're adults the same way we did with our kids and include them. That's the only way. I think that's how these two are ending up how they are. I mean, they've got more knowledge than a lot of kids these days from what they've seen and been around, just like you said. So, I mean, I feel like include them.
I think that is 100%. I agree.
If not, you're never around them. That's the two options you have, I guess, as business owners, if you're that busy.
What would you give to couples? Who I don't think we're even set to give advice for couples.
Advice for couples?
Yeah, in entrepreneurship.
Nope. I had no words for that one. You're on your own.
That way you're on your own. Yeah, I mean, I think touching that, I think it is a touchy subject for us because we are with high expectations for each other, but I think that we level each other up. I don't think you don't mix no words with me as far as like visions and goals that I want for the company. You're not a yes person, you're a reality person. So I think that what advice I would give to a spouse, whether you're male or female or what role you play in the situation is, it's very hard as a female because I want like, you're beautiful, you're great, do it, be an all-star. But it's like, no, here's the realities. You can't have that and this and that. And this is gonna take this and that out of you. So I would say learn to take the truth and that it's not, I still struggle with this one. Like, do you still think I'm pretty though? Like, you know, when he says no, I still want that, you know what I mean? Like that female aspect where it's like, do you still think I'm pretty? Don't you still like, but no, he was meaning it towards business. And no is not no to Audrey. It was no for the business and the family, like the longevity of it. And I still struggle with that because sometimes
You want it now. We always find a way to get it, but you want it now, and it doesn't work that way, especially in business.
and you're the carrier of that news on a regular basis.
You deliver it.
So we all love sports. So I think it's great. And I talk about this all the time. And we were talking about Scarlett, and then you chose military and the fortitude and the dedication that it takes. Do you see a parallel, or do you feel like sports and with you loving sports and I love sports, it brings us together as a family, but I feel like that is kind of what aligns with being a owner and a business owner too. Do you see that, or does anybody?
Competition. Yeah. This is the biggest word, I guess, to compare the two is you like to compete, basically.
I think too, what's a crazy thing that I've seen with all of us is just because you own a business, or even like I look at LeBron James or LeBron, anybody like that, just because they've reached success, they haven't stopped working. And I think that's I don't know what you're saying, but I think that's the thing that I've learned, that in my younger stages, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, I thought if I'm at this goal, like life would lighten up a little. And it hasn't, right? Like, which is proof.
I just said you want it now. You always want it now, or it just doesn't work.
But the work is never ending. I think there's a new goal each time. And I think that it took me a little bit to understand that, and I still forget. But do you feel that? Do you feel like, is that why you like sports, is the competitiveness? And I'm going to look at my questions here because we've got some funny ones.
It's okay. No, I think, like, if you're asking me about, like, my correlation between the military and sports, I think that while it is team, it's still individual. I think that's kind of, I guess it could coincide with business as well. And even with just softball and things like that, like, it is a team, but it is individual. And every day you gotta wake up and, you know, put on your uniform and go to work. And you might not get all the glory because you're helping out your team, but at the end of the day, if you mess up on your part of the job, I mean, it's on you. I mean, you know, people miss the game winner all the time, and, you know, people like to blame it on the one person, but it's still the team. But at the same time, you didn't make the shot.
I think it's also like setting goals for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's, you know, there's certain things you can't control, but as long as you can put in the work yourself and control your steps and motions and drive, then that will, showing up is an example for your team. And I think that's what, we don't always do it great or perfect, but I also think to be perfect is not setting an example for you guys. So with him saying, like, bringing them along, seeing a customer not happy, how we handle that is a huge teaching moment.
Attitude, having the drive to help. Yeah.
Because there's not always pretty moments. It's tough. Y'all have seen us shed some tears, and I think it didn't hopefully cause childhood trauma, but it taught. I always ask, like, what's your childhood trauma?
And I have nothing to say ever. That question.
Maybe like one time when I made dinner or something. Thank God.
Oh yeah, that'd probably be it actually. Let's talk about that.
We're a team, and we all shine our own lights in different ways. Okay. I want to ask some funny questions. Who in the family is most likely to start an argument over a sports game?
You and Presley?
I feel like it's Jason.
Over a sports game?
Over sports.
Yeah, you two would be the one you would open over a sports game.
Like, I don't know, Presley or Jason?
Because he knows everything about sports and everything about players, and you try, and he corrects you, and I'm getting
I'm
hurt.
just out of the question.
So that's a y'all question.
I think it's bad parenting. Remember when my dad and I was like text you for like your draft pick?
Yeah.
Is that bad parenting?
No.
No, it's smart to ask him.
Just spend a little time on ESPN on my iPad. That's what it was.
Okay, so this is a funny question, but let me ask, who's your favorite sports teams? If you could watch only one sport team if you were on a desert island, who would it be? What would it be? Would it
Probably
be
Mavericks.
the Mavericks?
I'd definitely watch the Mavericks.
It would not be the Cowboys for me right now.
No.
Well, they can't. I mean, nobody can watch them.
No.
Are we all like a Texas team? Why do y'all think that is?
We did.
Well, I know, but you've moved, but you still love others.
I still rep Dallas everywhere I go.
I do too.
I still rep the Mavericks.
That's just tried and true.
Rangers for me.
The Rangers. Yeah.
I'm just trying to, I always like college football. Yeah. I don't know what specific team, but
Texas.
That's what I was thinking. Let's Texas
Yeah.
OU.
Presley, you were 2 years old when I took you to the Yankees Rangers game.
Yeah.
And you didn't move from that seat. There was old people. We had great seats. There was old people, and they're like, how old is he? I mean, I don't even think you were 2 yet, and you didn't move, and you loved it. And it was like that. It was so cute. He had this full conversation, and I was like, and then from then on, we made it like family traditions. Is we spent the holidays with your grandparents, your grandpa at the Rangers game, and at the Cowboys game. Some of our best memories are at sports, and I think
Ask her what the last hat she bought since you've been gone.
I bought a New York hat because it was neutral and it was monotone and it really looked cute with my outfit and my.
It's not neutral.
It was not. It's going to be burnt. Or well, I can't find it. I think it's burnt. They threatened me with burning it because he said Texas Rangers hats are only allowed around here. I don't mind these.
Definitely not New York.
Yeah, not in New York.
I like their traditions, but see, these are the arguments. We asked who the arguments come from, and I think Jason started that one.
Don't be a Yankee fan.
Don't be a Yankee fan. I think that's what I love about about our family is that we love sports and it's so much fun. And that it's dinner time. You always made sure that we had dinner on the table. We ate dinner as a family together. I think that's one thing you need to brag about. You always have dinner ready for us, no matter what. I tried.
I would say he had to.
And then we...
He'd work his ass off.
And then we went, I think our sports experiences, I love those. Even when we went on, I think our vacations are great, but like all the best memories are when we were at the Cowboys game, the Rangers game. What's one of the funniest things that's happened when we were playing sports?
I wouldn't say sports, but I would think about the Wii incident whenever we were playing Wii tennis. Oh yeah, buddy, you're getting outed. Oh yeah.
I still feel, every time you get your hair cut, I feel like the most horrible parent. Do people even know what a Wii is right now?
Yes, people know what a Wii is, and we were playing Wii tennis, and I was beating her. So let's throw that out there. But I was beating her, and then all of a sudden, there's a Wii remote in the back of my head. I don't even play tennis, but I went to hit hard. And I've never seen so much blood go everywhere. I went in crying though.
No, I think you were
thing. I mean,
we were very competitive.
Next week.
I still think you won.
Yeah, I still won.
If we gave each other a nickname, a sports nickname, what it would be? What,
A sports nickname?
yeah.
You're the peacock.
Or just in the peacock.
You're the peacock captain.
Oh, you're the peacock captain. You gotta let me fly.
I don't know.
Yeah, peacock. I don't know. What would you give me?
Scarlett's the bear.
wow.
The bear.
Why? What does that mean?
You would be glasses.
Glasses?
Yeah, because you always wear or shades. You could be shades.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. He's good at this. He plays Xbox.
Really close.
Hollywood.
What
Now,
would you? Well, I don't know a good one for red.
Red.
Yeah, because of your red hair. No.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
was listening.
if we had a family mascot, what would we call it?
Letty.
Yeah.
Asshole. That's your mascot.
Letty's our mascot.
Like Feny's our mascot.
I think
She goes
our
over.
mascot.
Yeah.
Fendi.
Scare dogs.
Well, as we have these laughs, I can't thank you enough to kind of opening up y'all's day and hearts and sharing a little bit. I hope others can kind of hear the jokes and be kind of influenced by some of the choices that y'all made. And I think it's great. I think 100% of what Jason said, that I love that when we brought y'all along, that y'all learned so much and have, aspirations of your own to do your own thing. And I love you all so much. So as we close out, y'all can laugh at me as I say this. After we're done with every episode, we say capture, brand, and engage, and let's do big things.
Oh my gosh. Did you come up with that, or
I actually did.
I would have Chat GPT something to get that right.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Founders and Fortitude Conversations with Audrey Dollins. For details and links from our incredible guests, be sure to check out our show notes. You might even find exclusive discounts and special items we shared that aren't even mentioned during the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It truly helps us grow and continue sharing valuable insights with you. You can connect with me daily on Instagram at Audrey Dollins, AudreyDollins, and don't forget to visit my website at audreydollins.com, where you'll find years of blogs packed with tips and insights to help you thrive. As always, capture, brand, and engage, and let's do big things.